This is big time, guys. This is huge. Huge reveals tonight. Actually, not Rage of the Abyss. We get the first archetype from the new deck build pack, Crossover Breakers, almost fully revealed. I believe this is going to be everything but one card. We'll find out as we go what the one card missing is, I believe. We'll just find out what the missing number is, and that should hopefully tell us at least a hint at what kind of card it's going to be. This is RAIZEOL. It's a new XYZ-based archetype. Let's see how we go. All right. Here we go. Let's see. RAIZEOL seems to be a combination of Rai, Japanese for thunder and lightning, and zeolite, a type of mineral known to combust. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. Starting off with our first guy. I'm getting math mech vibes from this guy right out the gate. But this is Sword RAIZEOL. This is a level 4 fire thunder. Very interesting combination of type and attribute there. You don't see that ever, really. 1500 attack, 200 defense. Whoa, fire monster with 200 defense. You can only use special summon with the first effect of this card's name per turn. You can only use the second effect once per turn as well. If you have a RAIZEOL monster on field or in graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the turn except for rank 4s. Only rank 4s. That's kind of brutal. That's actually, like, quite brutal, right? Being locked into rank 4. Like, it's one thing if you're locked into Exceeds and at least you have Zeus, Typhon, the Armor Exceed package now gets turned off here, basically. Interesting. That's a pretty tough restriction. There are a bunch of rank 4s you can make, obviously, but some of those, like, really nice utility Exceed monsters are turned off. All right. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one light pyro from your deck to your hand. Okay, sure. Seems like a Stratos. We'll see what the light pyro targets do, but this is pretty good. Can be a normal summon, but also an extender that still searches. Good card. All right, next up we have Node RAIZEOL. This guy looks so different than the first guy. So different, it's crazy. This is another level 4 Fire Thunder. 14-16 for the stats. You can only special summon him with his first effect once per turn, and the second effect also once per turn. If you have an XYZ monster on your field or in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of his turn except rank 4s. Interesting. So again, that same restriction, but his summoning condition is honestly a little worse, I would assume. The fact that you have to get into the extra deck already just to make this card live is kind of annoying. A little bit, not that bad, but like, because all you have to do is make a rank 4, and especially if like this guy is just a 1-card rank 4 and there's consistency in getting that guy, then it's not that big of a deal, but just a small thing. Second effect, you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard to target a RAIZEOL monster in your graveyard, except for Node. Special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. Okay, I'm assuming that's just, once you've already made an Exceed, you've probably detached for it to do some effect, and then you can get into this guy, summon himself, revive when it just helps you push into a bigger board, hopefully. Doesn't seem like an amazing extender card. It seems more like a combo piece than a great extender. But it could be an okay extender, like, in certain situations. Just not, like, uber flexible. Still decent, though. All right, next up we have another. Oh, this is one of our level 4 light pyros. So this is one of these are, I guess, getting into the cards that are searchable off of Sword here at the beginning. Okay, I like his design too. He looks pretty cool. This is Ice RAIZEOL. So he's ice based, but he's light pyro. That's insane. 17-10 for the stats. You can only special summon this card with the first effect, and second effect hardens per turn. First effect, you can special summon this card by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Okay, so just that like Diabellstar summoning condition, just not, I believe this doesn't activate either. If summoned this way, you're locked into rank 4s for the rest of the turn from extra deck, and if this card is normal summoned only, you can special summon a RAIZEOL monster from your deck. Interesting. So they give him like a pretty generic hand extension effect, but that he's only tour guide if he's normal summoned. That's a little weird. Not that it's bad. It's just like, why not make this normal or special summon? Okay. It's not terrible. I mean, like, sure, he's like... I like that he can be either, right? He can either be a pretty decently flexible extender or just a solid normal summon that on normal wants to summon something like Sword. Sword then searches you probably another light pyro. Decent card, though. Just could have been a little better by just making it normal or special summon, but still not complaining. Good card. Otherwise, is this the last? No, 2 more main deck monsters, I think. So the next one is another level 4 Light Pyro, so also searchable off of Sword. 500 attack, 2000 defense. Hard ones per turns. First effect, you can special summon this card by sending 1 Exceed monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Wow. Any Exceed monster? Huh. Isn't that one card I might get the name a little bit off. Myriologic Aggregator, something like that. It's I think it's like a rank 9 Cyberse monster where when it's sent, it can target a face-up monster on the field and negate its effects till the end of the turn. That's kind of nice. I also like this guy doesn't require anything on field to summon. You just have to send. We'd have to go through and remind me in the comments if there are any other good Exceed monsters that are just good to send, period. Like just sending them to grave straight from extra is actually like good value. I'd love to see if there's anything extra there, but that's the first card that comes to mind. And then, of course, locks you into rank 4s. And then if this card is normal or special summoned and all face-up monsters you control are either level or rank 4 monsters, you can add 1 Fire Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. Cool. Yeah, that's basically... I would assume that most of the time this is just this live. It's just live. So you have your Fire Thunder guy who searches your Light Pyros, and you have a Light Pyro guy who searches your Thunders. That's cool. Nice. I like they connect like that. That's pretty solid. Yeah, and the easiest extender too. Like you don't have to have anything in hand, anything on field, anything. You just get to extra Foolish Burial from extra. It does pull. Maybe it forces you to play 1 or 2 cards in your extra. That like takes up a little extra space. But with the restriction this deck already has of locking you into rank 4s only, you're probably already unable to play a lot of cards you'd want to otherwise. Anyway, so. Alright, last main deck monster. This is Palma RAIZEOL, the final Fire Thunder. So back to the Fire Thunders. Special summon effect monster. 1200 attack, 2400 defense. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned by shuffling a RAIZEOL monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Okay, cool. Not too crazy. First effect, you cannot special summon from your extra deck except rank 4 monsters, sure. And then once per turn, if this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you can send 1 level 4 monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack until the end of the battle phase. Huh. Not too crazy about this one, honestly. Yeah, just honestly not too wild about this one. He's just basically like a simple extender. Because, like, sure, this effect is, like, not terrible, but you have to get to battle phase to use it. It's not necessarily an effect that's, like, going to allow you to just completely OTK your opponent straight up or anything. So it's not, like, ending the duel, and so it's more of, like, an engine card. But, like, if you have to be going to battle phase just to get some engine stuff going, not always ideal. This card's fine. Maybe it's a one-of for like scenarios where you just need another name that hasn't triggered yet. Like sometimes like Drytron, you would play like at least 1 copy of even the worst name just because if you run out of, you know what I mean, you go through all the other names and you've been interrupted and you still just need a little more gas. Maybe this card comes up for that, but I'm honestly not sure. That's definitely the worst one from the main deck monsters though, in my opinion. Alright, into our extra. This is huge. This is going to determine a lot of stuff here. The first one here is this guy. This is RAIZEOL Duo Drive. Rank 4, Fire Thunder. Exceed 25, 2000 for the stats. Pretty big. 2 level 4 monsters. Really generic. Gotta like that. That definitely opened up some stuff for sure. For some like just generic good like level 4 support. You can only use the first and third effect once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can attach 1 RAIZEOL monster from your graveyard to this card as material. Okay. Okay, cool. None of them really give a bonus effect, but sure, extra materials is never bad. For each material attached to this card, monsters you control gain 100 attack. Also, monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack. Something that crazy, I mean, like, sure, you make him with 2, you equip something else. So, like, he's 28 and you're lowering everything your opponent has by 3. Not terrible, it's just a little... That's definitely the baby bonus effect. And third effect, during your main phase, you can detach 2 materials from your Exceed monsters. Doesn't have to be him. And if you do, add 2 RAIZEOL cards with different names from your deck to your hand. Jeez. Okay, so this is cool. Because this is just a generic rank 4 too, that means even if you want to play like Sakitama, Aratama engine, that engine just basically 1 card Sakitama is the extender, right? So Aratama would be 1 card this, but just making this searches 2 more cards. And if you're making him without using any RAIZEOL cards, he can just search your extender boys. And they just drop down and they just basically get you probably at least 2 more rank 4s at that point. Not bad. Okay. That's pretty strong. That's a pretty strong card for sure. Alright, cool. Next up we have the guy on the cover. This is maybe our main boss monster. This is RAIZEOL Detonator. Level 4, or rank 4 light pyro, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. He's got blue eye stats on him. He specifically does require RAIZEOLs, though he's not completely generic like the other guy. First and third effects hard once per turns. If this card is special summoned, you can attach 1 monster from your graveyard to this card as material. Would have been a little better if you can attach from either graveyard. That way, even in the grind, you can just like take your opponent's stuff in their grave just so they don't have access to it. But still, there could be extra value in just attaching other stuff from your grave to it. Second effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target a card in the field, destroy it. Oh! Not once per turn. That's the second effect. The first and third effects are hard once per turn. That's not hard once per turn at all. So this card just is like a non-once per turn Ghost Ogre. And since you're attaching something from grave on summon, this is probably like a thrice per turn most of the time. Dang, that's actually annoying. And it's better than Ogre. Ogre has to pop the card activating. This is when any card or effect, whether on field or not, is activated. You just target anything on the field and destroy it. That can be annoying to work around. There's definitely ways to like deal with it. Definitely gets handled by like board breakers and stuff, but still, that's thrice per turn is annoying. Also, if an Exceed monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effects, detach a material from this card instead. Cool. Just extra protection as well. Just makes the board a little bit more sticky. This card's tough. This card's annoying for sure. Yeah, this card's actually not the worst end board boss monster. Alright, now we get into some spells and traps. Those are the only 2 extract monsters, but for what it's worth, those are pretty strong for what it is. So maybe the other spells and traps will also add to our board. Not to mention, the deck does not lock you out of summoning other rank 4s. So basically any other rank 4 you can think of, Dweller, Baguska, all that stuff also can kind of be tacked on here. Alright, RAIZEOL plugin, quick play spell. You can only activate 1 card of this card's name per turn. Target 1 Exceed monster or RAIZEOL monster in your graveyard or your banishment. So you have to already get an Exceed or RAIZEOL monster in grave or banish. Okay, special summon it. Then you can attach 1 RAIZEOL card from your deck to your rank 4 monster as material. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except for rank 4s. Okay, again, like, I don't love that this card like requires a little bit of setup. Because like ideally you'd want to be reborning an Exceed monster and getting it attached with something from deck. Reborning a RAIZEOL is not that bad either. Just one of the main deck ones, but just an okay card. Nothing crazy from in my opinion. All right, and then we finish up with the last card here. Is one spell and 1 trap. That's it. We'll take a look at the set names in a second too. All right, RAIZEOL Hole Thruster. Hopefully, this is a pretty powerful trap card. You can only use the first and second effect once per turn. It's a normal trap. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of RAIZEOL Exceed monsters you control. Destroy them. Then you can attach 1 RAIZEOL card from your graveyard to your rank 4 monster as material. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon using monsters you control, including a RAIZEOL monster. Interesting. Okay. There's definitely some interesting stuff here. This card's interesting. It's not a negate or anything, and that's definitely something that the deck like maybe needs to address, is that like it seems like the deck has like no way to beat Nib from what I'm seeing right now. So that's not super ideal, but still like pretty solid engine stuff, all things considered, right? Like a really, really broken, strong rank 4. Actually, both of them are quite strong. But the first one particularly strong because it's searches 2 and it takes generic materials. So just generic level 4 like spammage like really is pretty decent. I mean, I could even see that card seeing play in just another deck that's rank 4 base. Like play it in Trap Tricks as a one of, and you can make him and then use him to search like maybe 2 copies of like, and you just play 2 one-ofs in the main deck of the extender guys, and then they just jump out and get you another rank 4 on top of it. There's definitely something there for sure. But as far as this card goes, it targets up to the number of RAIZEOL Exceeds, so you're targeting 1, maybe 2, and destroying them, which is just okay. And then you get to attach a RAIZEOL card from grave to a rank 4. Sure, you get an extra material out. I guess the idea is that with some of these cards, like the quick play and this card, they can trigger on the opponent's turn. So you can like keep putting more and more materials on this guy. But my problem is like without any real negation in the deck, it seems like if they just handle this guy, it's like all these cool effects that get extra materials on RAIZEOL cards kind of just get handled. But I don't know. The second effect's interesting too, allowing you to quick exceed. There's no rank up ability in this deck though, so they don't have like a monster that can just like overlay on top excuse me, of their other guys. So that's a little weird as well. So I'm like, what are we even exceeding into? Like, are we ever actually ending on like 2 level 4 RAIZEOL monsters? So it's like, what are we, you know what I mean? What are we doing? I guess you can theoretically, so that way you can quick make another rank 4 that you think is good for a certain scenario, but not totally sure. Interesting start though. Like I'm not totally out here. I think as an engine, this deck is this core seems a little more interesting than elsewhere. But there's nothing here. Also, as far as cards go, we have number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are probably our main deck monsters. 6 for Duo Drive, 7 for Detonator, 8 for Plug-in, and we skipped to 10s. Okay, so the final card is either another trap, but I would guess it's probably actually just another spell in between Plug-in and Hole Thruster. So we'll see what that comes out to. Really, really interesting. Honestly, I think the coolest thing here, I think the most competitively interesting thing here is that out the gate at least is a rank 4 package potentially for other decks. But as a pure deck, there's also some interesting things going on here. Also, we've seen way worse starts from deck build packs like Rescue Ace and Exo Sisters end up being way, way better down the line than anybody actually thought. So with 1 wave of support, 2 waves of support, this deck can clearly be awesome. They are, like, the Exceeds are great. Some of their main deck monsters actually seem really promising as well. Spells and Traps a little bit of a letdown, especially since they have a rank 4 that just searches 2 free cards in the archetype, that there's nothing there that's, like, too enticing overall. But still, there's definitely some really good pieces to start off with here to get rolling. But yeah, that's where I land. Other than that, I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. I don't anticipate another archetype from this set being revealed for probably another week or 2, if I had to guess, but I'll keep you posted on that. I still expect reveals for something tomorrow and probably Thursday as well, so I'm keeping you posted on all that news as well. A lot of stuff, really, really hype stuff recently, so let's keep the ball rolling. I'll keep you posted on all things Yu-Gi-Oh! News going forward, so if you want to stay updated on that stuff, subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me down the line, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.